So I just got asked a question. Um, how am I able to do endurance events like Tough Mudder or like the Suck, uh, Go Rucks, Hop Lights, Myrmidons? And there's a couple of things that I actually do in order to complete these events. First and foremost, training. You have to train and give yourself an amount of training to do before the event even happens. So, set out 3 months ahead of time to actually train an event. I think 3 months or more is what you need to train for endurance events. And you need proper training. It's not just like going to the gym and doing 4 sets of 10, of a certain exercise or anything like that. You actually have to train for that endurance for yourself. And during the event, you have to mentally prepare yourself. You have to mentally have yourself ready. Your body is a machine. Your body is just like a robot. Your body is a machine. Your body will not stop. You tell your body when to stop. So your mind controls how far you go, how long you go, and when to keep going. That your mind is exactly that. That's what it does. They always say, your running is 10% physical, 90% mental, and there's a lot of truth in that. And so during the event, what you do, and I think Joe Decker says this. He says it best. He's like, don't think, just freaking do. And that's the deal. You can't think of the pain that you're going through. You can't think of how cold it is or how hot it is or how wet you are or anything like that, because that all play to bring you down and make you want to stop. You just can't think of that. So there's a couple of tricks that you do in order to divert your mind. And so one of the things that you want to do is create motivation for yourself. So I know for me, especially when I'm losing pace in something, I have this Marine Corps song that plays in my head whenever I start to feel slowing down, and it automatically pumps me up. Or believe it or not, hearing the national anthem, I play that in my head because it always gives me goosebumps. It reminds me of the reason why I joined the Marine Corps a while back and what this country represents, and so I play that in my head. And there's other songs that I have to self-motivate me to get that energy back going again. And another thing is just positive thinking. And I don't know if you know who Mark Divine is, but he says this a lot in his videos. And so you want to create that positive thinking. And I think one example that I've seen this the best was by my buddy Patrick, and he did this at the Suck, and he's done it at every single endurance event that I've seen. So when it starts to get, you're carrying this heavy load or whatever, and I saw him carrying, this giant moon rock that we had to carry at the Suck, and I mean, you heard him for anywhere on that facility. You just heard him say, "I love my rock. I love this rock," and it changes your mind, your mindset. Because at first, a lot of people, if they didn't say that or get happy about it, they would just like, "Oh man, this rock sucks. I can't believe it's hurting my back. It's hurting my, my shoulders. It's hurting my arms." And then people start thinking about that, and then that's when they start to lose that motivation. And then when you lose that motivation, then you're not going to pass. So, you change that around, change a sucky situation to a good situation. I start to laugh, I'll start yelling, saying, "I love my rock," or you're like, "Oh yeah, let's just do it." Mark Divine has a thing where he says, "Looking good, feeling good, ought to be in Hollywood." And he just keeps repeating that, through the whole thing. I'm just feeling good, feeling great, destroying it. Let's go, let's do it, And I love creativity. So whenever somebody does something that's where I know it's going to suck and it's going to hurt really bad, I just start laughing. Because I'm like, oh, this is really going to challenge me, So I think of stuff like that. Another motivation thing that I do when I'm just down in the dumps and to where I'm at my low. I imagine my daughter. So my daughter appears, right next to me, And the one thing that I will never do in life, and you can quote me on this, whatever, I will never tell my daughter that I'm a failure. I refuse to do that. And so, I've told her ever since, since she could hear, I always told her, you could do anything as long as you put your mind to it. You could accomplish anything in life. And I fully, firmly believe that. I firmly believe that you could really do whatever you want to do, and be successful at it. But you have to want it. You have to want it bad enough. And so I imagine my daughter appearing next to me and having her say, don't give up, Daddy. You can do it. You set your mind to it. You could do anything. And I hear her telling me those words, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell my daughter I'm a failure. I'm not going to tell her that, And I told her that I was going to do this event. I told her I was going to complete it, and I have to do what I say, just as a man and as a father. So, I don't want her, for me, I can't fail at anything, or tell her that I'm a failure, because or give up on something, basically, is what it is. I mean, you'll fail at things in life, but you just don't give up. Just have that motivation to keep going and keep trying, and and I think that's important for a lot of people to do. So I create that positive thinking. I create motivation for myself for when I am down in the dumps. Those things will pop in. During the event too, when especially comes to endurance events, set smaller goals. So a lot of people, they're like, okay, you got to knock out 1,000 burpees. And they're like, what? Yeah, I got to knock out 1,000 burpees? Like, you're kidding me, right? And I did this actually for my class not too long ago. I told them, I was like, you're going to have to do 400 reps today. And when I told them that at first, the people who were brand new, they were like, what, 400 reps? How am I supposed to do 400 reps? Like, you're kidding me, And I could see like the excuses start to form in their mind. I could fake an injury like halfway through, or I could just say like, oh, I'm busy. I gotta do this. Or I could look at my phone and say, oh, I gotta go. I could see all these thoughts formulated in their head. And so I told them, like, break it up into smaller goals. Break it up into smaller goals. So what we did is, we took the 400 reps, break it down into 50, and then in the 50, we broke it down to 10 reps. So the same thing, we did a 3-mile farmer's carry at the suck, and what you do is, you're like, okay, I know I'm just going to go from here to that tree, or I'm going to carry this, the farmer's carry, and carry the weight for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to rest 20 seconds. So that's what you do. You just go and you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just count it. And as soon as you set it down, boom, you only give yourself 20 seconds. You have to have that, because if you give yourself too much of a break, you're going to be like, oh, screw this, I'm done. So you have to give yourself that motivation, So, you're doing that 30 seconds, okay, feeling good, looking good, out to be in Hollywood. I love my kettlebells. I love this weight. I love my rock. And then boom, you set it down, 20 seconds, okay, 20, 19, 18. And I find that counting backwards helps out a lot too. So like, say if you got to knock out, 100 of something, you count up to that, but your last 20 or so count backwards. I'll go in 20, 19, 18, 17. And for some reason, that helps out a lot. I don't know why. I think it's just because like now you're coming down to the finish and you get like this new burst of energy. And a lot of people say, you don't, your runner's high. And a lot of people don't experience that runner's high because they don't really push themselves that far. They don't push themselves that far. And what happens, that runner's high only happens after you get so low and you're like, God, I just want to quit. I can't move my legs anymore, blah, blah, blah. If you just push a little bit further, then you get this second boost of energy out of nowhere. It's hard to explain, but then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I got this, let's do it. And as long as you push through that, you're good. And I think Winston Churchill said it best. He said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And that's just what it is. And I learned that in boot camp, and I learned that in the Marine Corps, is that, there's times where it's just going to suck. But the fastest way to make it stop is just to go through it. That's what it is. You just go through it, tough it out and keep going, And I'm really glad, that I chose to be in the Marine Corps right out of high school, because there's things in life that where I would have failed. I would have just failed. I would have given up. The Marine Corps really built that tough mentality that these endurance events does for everyone else who hasn't been in the Marine Corps. And that's why I do endurance events, is to push me and to challenge me and to give me a look back point. So that way when I go in life and I'm like, fuck, I'm down. I don't think I could do this anymore. But then I'm like, you know what? I just did, a 36-hour challenge to where I got beaten down. I got water hosed. I swam. I had to carry a freaking, 100-pound log and do this, and had to do, 100 burpees and 100 pull-ups and 100 push-ups with a 50-pound ruck on my back. And, so I'm able to get through things in life because I look back at that and I was like, this is nothing compared to that. If I could do that, then I could do this. And I know that I can do this. And it makes things so much easier and so much better when I think of things like that. So I hope this helps out for you to get through the endurance events. If you have any questions, please email me at milo@milofitness.com. We'll be posting more videos on the website, milofitness.com. And then, check out our endurance, that we have a hoplite 6-hour endurance. That'd be awesome to check. We have a 12-hour Myrmidon challenge that if you really want to push yourself, Joe Decker has the suck. And if you really want to go all out, Mark Devine hosts Kokoro Camp, which is that's 50 hours of basically Navy SEAL Hell Week Navy SEAL Hell Week put into 50 hours. So challenge yourself, push yourself out there, see how far you can go, and then you get to tell all people how badass you are.